What's going on, guys? So I don't know if you guys noticed, my subscriber count is going up pretty quick. I'm not even making a crazy amount of content, but it does seem like people are really engaging and absorbing the content and enjoying it and responding to it. Um, uh, I don't know if you guys have noticed, it's a lot brighter in here. I don't know if anybody's going to really notice that, but I am pointing it out. I've changed all the bulbs to our external lighting lamp that I have in here, and then the lighting above me with much brighter LED bulbs, pretty much twice as bright. So I'm hoping that that makes the channel look a little bit better. Anyways, today's topic is dealing with Pokemon card sellers, dealing with Pokemon card slash TCG sellers. And I think this is an important topic. I think it's a topic that not a lot of people are talking about. I don't think anybody's talking about it, to be honest with you. The etiquette. And I don't think it's just really geared towards Pokemon. I think it's geared towards being into business in general. I also want to note for you guys that may be curious about my car video and how that's going. I am leaving my car at the shop. I'm just about had it. I've done more research than I've probably done on any particular Pokemon product I've done on my car this past week. I have spent hours and hours and hours trying to figure out why my car is not engaging certain gears and why I get this little SMG gear light on my dashboard. Anyways, I'm gonna leave it at the shop and see what they do with it. I don't even care how much it costs. I'm tired of it. I want the car repaired so that I can enjoy it again, because at this point I'm just driving it and putting miles on it and filling it up with gas and replacing things that might not work. I replaced my fuse and my relay, and it didn't make a difference. It still threw a code today. So best case scenario, the shop finds out that it's only a couple little things and I'm only paying a couple $100 or maybe $1,000 or maybe $2,000. Worst case scenario, I need a new SMG hydraulic pump, which allows my car to shift gears. I need to pay labor on that, and then I need to replace a couple other little bits because they're already going to be underneath the car. The transmission is already going to be out. So it could be like a $4,000, $5,000 repair. I have no idea what it's going to be. I can say goodbye to my first edition Charizard though, because I'm finally almost debt free. Not even debt free. I'm actually doing very well, savings and investment wise. I'm doing very well. I'm talking about my credit card debt, which I racked up for Pokemon cards this past year. I'm finally almost down to zero, and it just sucks because I'm about to drop my car off and run up my credit card debt again. Anyways, irrelevant, but I thought if anybody was interested in how the car repairs are going, that's how they're going. Not great. Anyways, talking about TCG, how to treat people, how to treat sellers. This is kind of a video that goes both ways. You know, it's not just about how you should treat your buyers. Buyers also could use a little bit of etiquette and how to treat the sellers. When you want a product, we're not a retail store. We're not just a McDonald's. You can't just say, hey, do you have this? Do you have this? Do you have this? Can you fix this? Or I'm thinking of car repairs right now. Can you get this item or this box or these cards in? Callie, stop barking! Right now, our daughter is taking a nap, so I really don't want our dogs barking. Anyways, so when I find that when I'm buying cards on secondary markets, you know, I message multiple sellers with different messages. Sometimes it takes them a day to get back, sometimes it takes them 2 days, and by that time, as many of you may have already experienced, you've kind of already made up your mind or even changed your mind. So the transaction time, the engagement time is really important. So if you're a seller, you unfortunately, whatever selling platform that you're on, you need to have your notifications on, because when someone messages you about something, they're making potentially, they're either making an impulsive buy or they are researching other items, but the first item, you know, they may have messaged you on the first or second item that they're looking at. So it's very imperative that you respond quickly to those orders or those inquiries if you want to make that sale. If you respond in a day or two because you as a seller are thinking about, do I want to sell this for this price, or what are these going for? You may end up losing that sale entirely. And you might respond. A lot of times I respond to people, and if I'm a day or 2 days late, I don't get a response back. And honestly, at first I thought that's kind of rude. And now I kind of get it, because sometimes I'll make offers to sellers and they'll respond back 2 days later. And I'm like, I already bought this. I already bought 2 of these. So the engagement time is very important, and knowing to respond to your buyers ASAP, as quick as possible. The next thing is your etiquette. So when you're asking about an item, when I got into collecting, I was kind of rude, and I'm willing to admit that. I was kind of rude about some of the items that I was asking for. I was like, do you have this? Do you have a better condition version of this? Do you have this card graded? Even if they're not selling it graded, I'm asking, do they have this, but do they have it graded? Like, don't ask a million questions. This person has taken time to put something up on the internet to make a sale. They're trying to either clean their house, or they're a seller, or that's their hobby, and on the side they sell stuff. So they're taking time to list an item. You should really, if you're going to ask questions, you should really just simply inquire about the item. Be very direct, be precise, be concise, specific to the item that's being listed. And what I mean by that is when I am selling a theme deck on my Mercari and someone asks, hey, do you have that sealed theme deck that's in your background? Is that for sale? No, this is my background for a reason, because I love it, and it's for the YouTube, and it's to display my collection. None of this stuff is honestly for sale, none of it. If I wanted to sell it, not only do I not need the money to sell this stuff, but it took a long time to collect this stuff. So no, it's not for sale. So when I'm listing something and someone asks me, hey, and that could be my problem. Oh, here's another good one. Maybe I shouldn't have anything in the background when I'm showing a certain item. I haven't even thought of that, but honestly, there's a lot of professional sellers. If you want to be a professional seller, then you should probably buy a light box or make a light box. A light box is as simple as just black sheets, or even spray painted cardboard. You get a box basically, and you have a light above it that and it can be white or it can be black, it doesn't matter, but you have something where there's nothing distracting from the item. Everything is blank and there's just the item. So that may help you if you're a potential seller. I know my style of selling things, I like to have the background. I like to have this stuff in my background, and maybe that's my fault. Maybe that's why people are always asking, hey, are these things for sale in the background? So I can understand that, actually. But the reason that I have this background is so that when I'm selling an item, I want people to see that I know what I'm doing, that I've been collecting a very long time. I also don't want to be disrespected with like, oh, what's the condition of that? Or, are there any creases or dents or dings? On my Mercari seller page, I kind of say what you should expect. Hey, I'm very transparent. These are the things that you can expect. These are the things that I'm going to point out: dents, creases, scratches. All of that is already said in my bio. So I really don't have to answer someone when they ask, hey, do these cards have creases? Or what's the hollow look like? Or like, what's the centering like? Like, I'm very transparent. If there's an issue with something, I'm going to tell you. But I just try to, when someone asks me a question and I try to respond to a sale, hi. Okay. When I try to respond to a sale, pretty much I try to just be as polite as possible and say, hey, from what I can tell on my seller page, I make it very transparent that I will let you know if there's an issue with the item. But as far as I'm concerned, I will look this over for you again. Like, people are asking us about stuff that we want to sell, but we have to take more time out of our day to look into this stuff and make sure it's perfect, quote unquote. And then the buyer might not even buy it. So when that happens over and over and over again, you can imagine that the seller gets very desensitized. What I mean by desensitized is they grow ignorant of the fact that they only need to do a little bit of extra work to make a sale, and they just decide, like, no, I'm not going to even respond to this message. And so that's what I'm finding in the community lately, is that when you ask questions or you have an in-depth paragraph, hey, I'm Orion Sires, I have a YouTube, I'm really interested in this product and I want to do a review on it, but based on the sold listings and what I'm budgeting right now, I'm willing to pay you this much. Okay, I just taken time out of my day to write out all this stuff to the person, but that equally means that they have to take time out of their day to read all of it, respond to it, and decide if they want to make you a sale. And sometimes that's just too much effort. That's too much energy for a seller to have to do those things. So the reason I'm kind of going off on tangents and telling you guys this is because, sometimes I just feel like this person's a crappy seller. They're not responding to my messages. They're not being polite. They're being very short. I had this happen to me recently, and I'm not going to call out a name, but they're a very well-known YouTuber in the Yu-Gi-Oh world, and they responded to, I asked, hey, would you be willing to work out a deal on this? I was basically asking for like a 20% off discount. And I was willing to pay that same day and also give them a shout out and talk about how great of a seller they are to work with. Instead, they responded, no, I've already sold these for much higher, sorry. That's a terribly unprofessional response, in my opinion. It just sounds bad. Like, sorry, I could get more for this. It's just terrible. Like, I know when I'm selling stuff, hey, I'll tell people, hey, I'm really sorry. I'd love to take your offer. I kind of, in a way, beat around the bush, right? Instead of being concise and straight to the point of, no, I could get more money for this item, sorry. I think that that's a super rude, unprofessional, juvenile way to treat somebody that's, in a lot of cases right now, a grown adult getting back into the hobby, wanting to be treated with just an ounce of respect, that, hey, I would respond with, if I were that seller, to me, I would respond with, I really appreciate your offer. I would love to be able to sell it at that price and make some money, but unfortunately I would lose money there, or maybe don't even be that transparent. Maybe just say, but I have sold these in the past for this amount of money, and I hope you don't, take this the wrong way, but I would like to get this amount of money. And maybe you could just meet me at 5% less or 10% less. There was not even a counter. There wasn't even like I'm willing to do this if you can meet me here. That's kind of bartering and trade. It was kind of just like cutthroat, like, no, this is the price and this is what it's going to be. And I feel like certain sellers, YouTubers, streamers, once you get big enough, I feel like people get to a point where they don't have to treat people with the full amount of respect and just being nice, having a good interaction as a seller. So guys, what I'm trying to say in this video is not just etiquette and tendencies of sellers and buyers, but also stay in the hobby. Don't let someone who is responding in a toxic way, or, there's plenty of examples. I'm not going to go and list them, but there's plenty of examples that people just respond that are like, good luck finding this product for this price. Goodbye, or go look elsewhere, or, wow, really? You're giving me a low ball? Like, there are so many negative, toxic responses that people give, and this is an open market. We're supposed to be able to barter and counter and offer less than a list price. Just because something is listed at a certain price, there's always the possibility that maybe that seller is in a tough, tight position financially, or, and that's the negative side of it, but maybe also that they need some money to buy something else, to fund something else, and you caught them at a good time, and they're willing to say, hey, you know what? I'll work with you on this. I have seen both sellers. I've seen Nintendo Collectibles. This is a perfect example. There's a seller on eBay called Nintendo Collectibles. They are just fantastic. They've always treated me with respect, and even the times that they didn't want to sell something, they'd be like, they'd be like, man, I'm sorry. Like, I can't accept this price for this. Like I'd like to get a little bit higher, but if you can go and meet me at this price, like, there's a bartering and there's a respect. There's a mutual respect that is happening, that's going on during these transactions. And it seems like a lot of the big name sellers, gosh, there's just so many. There's so many big name sellers that are just short or don't respond. That some of them are selling such high value items that they're just like they're like I run the show, essentially. And I just, oh God, it almost makes me not want to buy from sellers, even though they have great product. It makes me not want to buy from them because they are just so self-absorbed, and I can be self-absorbed too, but not as a seller, not on a professional note. Like, I can be self-absorbed when I'm at the gym or when I'm making TikTok videos or when I'm driving my car and I'm driving down the road listening to hip hop, super loud, being that annoying egotistical guy on the road. I can be that guy on my personal time. But when I'm a seller, I am the nicest, most conscientious, respectful person you will ever meet as a seller. That's how it works. That's how it should work. Now, because it's not corporate, there really are no regulations, there's no guideline, there's no script. Why do you think corporations have all these scripts that when you talk to somebody, they're like, hi, thank you for being with us for so long? There's a lot to learn about these corporations. Yes, it's kind of a fake dynamic. It's not a true interaction because it's corporately mandated, but there's a lot to learn about that in service and how to treat customers. A lot of the time, people only treat you nice when you're on the cusp of making a purchase, or when you've already made the purchase, they're nice about it. And even sometimes I've made purchases from sellers and they're still kind of dicks to me. It's like, I'm not supposed to curse in my videos, but I think you guys are getting the point I'm making. So that's the seller. That's the seller, the perspective of the seller, and you're dealing with all these people and on a day-to-day basis, and it just wears you out and it desensitizes you. And at some point, I imagine a lot of these people selling are like, I'm not even going to respond to messages. And there's something to be said about that. If you don't respond to your messages, you're not opening yourself up for criticism or judgment. And you're not judging the person or being rude to them in any way. In a lot of ways, just being a silent seller is a very smart method. That's not something that I believe in. I believe in responding to every single message. If I get someone who messages me about a couple items, one after another, never buys anything from me, and always is messaging me random questions, yes, I will stop responding to that buyer. If I have a bad experience where someone returns something and it's damaged badly, and they filed a return after I already paid for shipping out of pocket, yeah, I'm gonna block that buyer. There are lines that you don't cross, I think, and as long as you're returning items with respect to that person's stuff, and you're respectful and you're like, I'm really, really sorry, this doesn't happen a lot. Like, when people cancel, and I think I've only had 2 people cancel on me, or maybe 3, they're just silent. They just cancel out of nowhere. They don't say anything. They don't apologize. They don't say, I'm really sorry. I'm going through a tough time right now. And I remember one person did do that. They were like, I'm sorry, I'm going through a bunch of medical issues right now. And I thought, okay, I understand. Stuff happens. And, I took the return. And I thought, what's this person like? I'm going to check their profile on Mercari. And I look at the profile and I see from the reviews from stuff they had just bought that they were buying stuff all that week from other sellers, the same time that they canceled on me. And I know that's a little bit weird and like I'm being like a creeper looking on someone's profile, but I was like, wow, you're going to cancel on me because you made a mistake, because you impulsively wanted to buy other things with your money and decided that you changed your mind. As a grown adult, you can't do that stuff. It's, if you're a little kid, okay, I get it. It happens. But as a grown adult, this is a big issue in the eBay community. Not so much on Mercari, because Mercari is really very straightforward, sales-based. You can offer, you can message. But on eBay, there's the auctions and the bidding. And a lot of times right now, we are in an environment that's crazy. Right now, people are bidding and just defaulting on all their auctions. And like, I've done it about 3 times. And my reasoning was usually that the listing was not accurate, that there was something that was not pointed out by a seller that was not transparent. And I try to be as transparent as possible on my listings, even if it risks me not making that sale, I will say, this theme deck, this plastic seal has a tear in it. This plastic seal has a hole in it. This theme deck has a small crease right here. The holographic card has some scratches on it. The cards are in very good condition, but they're slightly warped, and by that they have like a slight curvature to them. There's so many ways that you can be transparent, and you'll find that most of the time when you're really transparent, people will still buy from you. That's what I'm experiencing. I put up items for sale that I don't necessarily understand why they sell as quickly as they do or for the prices that they do. But I think it's because people trust me and I treat people with integrity and respect. It's very, very important. It's very important. Not only that, I've got a stack of Silver Tempest packs that I open for all of our milestones. Every time that we hit a new subscriber milestone, and we're coming up on 900 pretty soon. We're going to be at 1,000 in no time. Every time, I open up the packs. So I actually give all the packs that I open up, I give them away. Not give them away technically. Whenever someone buys something from me on Mercari, I give my repacks to someone. Is a way of paying it forward, but also it's not just about how you treat people. This hobby, it has integrity. It has good people in it. And sometimes, I get really annoyed with people wanting a certain price and I just get mad. And or they respond to me in a certain way and I get mad. They are rude to me and I get mad. And sometimes I just want to be like, screw Pokemon. All you guys that collect Pokemon, you can keep all your Pokemon. I don't care. I'm tired of spending my money, dare say wasting my money on cardboard. I'm sick of it. A lot of times sellers will put a bad taste in our mouths, but that doesn't mean that you should quit the hobby. I think that's what's so amazing about modern sealed product is it's giving people a chance to invest and collect and buy in the hobby without feeling that like buyer's remorse, someone being rude to them. My 1-year-old daughter just woke up, so I'm going to have to make this a little bit shorter. And I have a couple, I think I'm going to do at least one other video today, if not two, but I really wanted to get this topic done, talking about the perspectives as a buyer and as a seller. I know my wife right now is going to kill me. She's like, you just did a 20-minute video and our daughter has not even taken a nap for 20 minutes. We're in a very small home, so the walls are very close. You can hear everything. So I don't know if she's going to put her back down, but I'm going to bring my voice level down a little bit. So we've talked about a lot of the things as a seller, how it affects the buyer and the buyer experience. I just want to say, like, I go off on tangents a lot, but I just want to say that, like, overall, my point here is stay in the hobby, be patient, understand that not everybody is a rude, garbage person that is going to treat you like garbage. But there are good sellers out there. There are good people out there. And that's all relative, right? Someone could be having a bad day and you message them at the wrong time, or you send them a message that seems very pushy, whatever. On the buyer side, there is a responsibility that buyers have. Do your due diligence so that you don't end up canceling because you found a better price. Understand who you're buying from. Are you buying for the reputation? Are you buying for the honesty? Are you buying because this person is being respectful? And the dialogue that you have should be taken into account. Like, honestly, I don't think I'm ever going to buy another Pokemon product or TCG product from another seller that's rude to me. I don't think I'm ever going to do that again. When I first got into the hobby, I felt like, wow, I have to take abuse from this person. I have to take mental and emotional abuse from this person online who's like telling me like, you're not going to find a better deal than this. Like, good luck, trying to, buy these cards elsewhere, or like way to lowball me. Like, you don't think you could come up any higher. Like messages like that were just commonplace to me when I got into the hobby. I was just like, this is normal. People treat people like shit, and I just had to deal with it. And I would, order all these things and message all these sellers, and like 50% of the time, half of the time, the seller would just be mean to me or rude to me, and I would just take it. I would just be a rag doll, and I would just take that abuse, and I would still be like, okay, I'm sorry if I came off as rude. You know, can we at least do like 5% off? And I would just try and scrape whatever I could have, that was left. Whatever you're willing to give me, I'll just take. I'm sorry. Don't yell at me. Don't hate me. Like, that was the original, response that I had to these sellers treating me like crap. All this stuff in here, a lot of it was taken with a little bit of abuse. A lot of it was people that were, kind of mean to me, over these secondary markets. And that's why I wanted to become a seller. I was like, this is a piece of cake. All I have to do is do the opposite of all these other people. Treat people with respect, be nice to people, never be rude to someone you don't know who you're talking to, and answer every single question. Even if they're not going to buy anything from you, answer it. And to this day, even the people that still message me and don't buy anything from me, I still respond to those messages, because everybody matters. Everyone should be respected as another human being. Anyways, luckily these days, I feel like I'm a pretty bona fide, like, well-known collector / YouTuber. Like, I've almost got 1,000 subscribers. Like, this channel is growing into a legit channel now. I think at this point, the respect is earned based on what I've accomplished and based on how much knowledge I have for the hobby and the market itself. In the past 3 years, I've become immensely more knowledgeable about the TCG and the collecting as a whole, as a hobby. As a seller, though, I keep going off on tangents. As a seller, though, you have to be nice too. You have to be nice too. You have to come into it being polite, saying, hey, I understand you have it set at this list price. Sometimes I'll tell people I understand that it's at this high of a list price, but, I know that as a seller, sometimes we're willing to take less, and, the worst you can say is no. And sometimes I even preface in my messages, please do not be rude to me. I am simply asking a question and inquiring about buying this item. And the crazy thing is, with all the people being rude to me, that even happened when I had like 300, 200 feedback on eBay. It was happening even though I was clearly a reliable buyer and collector. It's just crazy to me. Like, I could be buying from somebody with 0 feedback, and this happens mostly with the people that have lower feedback. One of the worst I'd ever seen was a dude that just like went AWOL on me. He just started like cursing and being like, have a good life. Like, you're never going to find a product like this, like for this price. Like I'm blocking you or something like that. I even got blocked from an auction once, and I made a video about it. I'm trying to remember. That's how much this seller doesn't matter to me now. I don't even know. I can't even recall what their name was, and I'm not afraid to expose them and say their name. I just can't remember it. And it's down in my videos. It's way down in my videos somewhere. But I'm like, these were my experiences with this seller. And I even made a video about an actual scammer, and Rattle Pokemon channel actually shouted me out and had me in their thumbnail. I need to make a video about that at some point. Like, the first thing, the first interaction, the first credibility that I got from another Pokemon YouTuber. And his video got, tens of thousands of views talking about, this seller that I was trying to expose and talk about, whereas the video that I made got like 300 views or something, like just insignificant. But I care about the hobby. It's not just me. I don't just care about people treating me well. I care about how many other people are getting ripped off or scammed by this seller who's selling fake stamp Charizards or fake sealed theme decks. There was this one seller, the one that I just forgot about that I was trying to tell you guys about. I inquired. It said, these are a specific type of sealed theme deck. It's called the Tight Seal. And they said that this guarantees that there's shadowless cards in here. And I sent a message before that I got blocked, because I was bidding originally and I didn't get blocked. I got blocked after I sent this message. I sent a message saying, so there's a guarantee that there's shadowless cards. So if I do an opening on my YouTube channel, there's no chance that I'm going to get let down and this could be a scam in any way. There's definitely going to be I'm not sure if I'm just OCD or what, But there's definitely going to be shadowless cards. And if you guys don't know what shadowless is, let me give you a quick update for people that are new to the channel, new to collecting. There's first edition base set. Then there's a second print run called shadowless. This is the second print run. Shadowless basically is first edition, where it has this lighter card hue and it doesn't have a shadow on this edge. And then there's no first edition stamp. So this is a shadowless card. Okay, so there's shadowless, and that was only a PSA 3. See, when I was getting into collecting, I was collecting like PSA 3, PSA 4 cards. I didn't really understand why it mattered so much to have a perfect condition card, aside from actually having the card. Anyways, I've learned since then, you definitely, for investment purposes, you want a higher grade card. Anything below like a 5 or a 6, really a 5. Anything below a 5 is not very investable. But anyways, I asked them all these questions because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to get scammed, because I've been scammed a couple times since I started this channel, and I'm very OCD and I'm very attention oriented, so I noticed that stuff. But they just blocked me. And then they responded to my video. One day they found my video and responded to it, and they said, you're a douchebag. That's another seller. That's another seller, another person in the hobby that just, in such a juvenile way, called me out and called me a douchebag. Like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, I wasn't even like mad or like shocked. I was just, well, no, I was shocked. I wasn't mad or really hurt, because there's a million sellers out there. There's plenty of people to buy stuff from. If someone doesn't like you, that's their loss. You have to, the customer's always right. And that's not just a corporate slogan. That's in all business. The customer is always right. You have to put your head down and submit to the customer. Now, it's hypocritical of me to say that, because if someone walks into my bar and they're being a belligerent a-hole, yeah, I'm going to kick you out of my bar and I'm not going to let you back in. Or if you walk out on a tab and you ran up a fat tab and you didn't pay it and you just walked out and your card declines, yeah, I'm going to write your name down. You're not coming back into my bar. There are lines that you don't cross, and I get that. But all I did was ask a question, and then I made a video responding to why that seller blocked me, and they called me a douchebag in response. They didn't give me a legitimate question, a legitimate concern, like, I thought that you were going to claim you were opening it on camera, and then you were going to show a completely different deck, because people scam sellers all the time, and I understand that. But you're really talking to the wrong guy calling me a douchebag. I only aim to enhance this hobby and make it better and make dialogue in the community that literally no one else is thinking about making. Like, that's why people come to my channel. That's why you guys are still watching this video right now, because I talk about the stuff that no one seems to be talking about or care about. Anyways, I think I'm done for this rant. How to interact with, Pokemon / TCG sellers or buyers in the hobby. It's pretty much going to be the title, the caption of the video. As a seller, just to reiterate this again, as a seller, you have to be polite and you have to explain yourself. And maybe in the past, I should have explained to other sellers that I have been scammed and I have it on camera. And I'm a person that's done a lot of openings, that's opened up a bunch of mail. A lot of the times I don't return stuff. I'm not looking to scam someone out of a product and then send it back empty. There's so much negative, toxic stuff that goes on in this hobby that people don't seem to be talking about enough. Rattle Pokemon does a great job. That's why I love that channel. He does such a great job talking about, scammers and issues. And then Danny Phantom does such a great job about talking about pull rates and showing analytical data. That's why I love that channel. And then Alpha Investments with Rudy. I look up to these cats because these are the people that are shaping the hobby as we know it. And Alpha Investments, he's talking about, this is the time to invest. And then you have like pure entertainment like Poke Rev, where you're just ripping open packs. Like, who could not watch Poke Rev and not get hyped up? But none of those are my place in the hobby. My place in the hobby, the unique thing that I have in the hobby, is talking about these unique discussions and topics. But as a buyer, you need to be polite. You need to, put in the time if you want to be taken seriously. And I think a lot of sellers appreciate when someone sends a longer message. Maybe they don't, maybe they just want you straight to the point, but I think they appreciate a longer message that's like, hey, I'm new to the hobby. I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't know what this is really worth, but I don't have the amount of money to pay you for this listing. The amount of money I have is $80. I don't have $150. Now, the message I sent to another collector that knows me and knows the channel and is subscribed to the channel is, I'll give you $85 for this box. You know, you've seen my channel, you know that I like the boxes for the display. You know, I just, you know, right now I know the market is struggling and I know you want to get some cash. Would you be willing to accept $85 on this box? And they responded, yeah, like I'd much rather get 150, but like you're the homie and we've done business before and like I respect that and I like your channel, so like yeah, we'll do 85. Like it took a while for me to get to a point where I had interactions like that, where there was a mutual respect that I'm not just some idiot that doesn't know what I'm talking about. Like, and that sucks because you shouldn't even need to prove yourself in this hobby. So much of the people in this hobby are like they're just judging other streamers and other content creators for how much they know or how long they've been in the hobby, when like, sorry to say, none of that matters. The only thing that matters is the content that they're creating. So like, I hate channels that just like rip on other content creators, even if they're doing something bad. Like, they're doing something, they're making their content, even if it's talking about stolen Pokemon product. Like, I'm Switzerland, I'm neutral from that subject, but like, stay in your own lane and do your own content and focus on your on making your grass greener, and stop looking at what everybody else is doing. Like, I don't know, I think it's kind of pathetic. You know, I think it's a strong word, but I think it's kind of pathetic that some content creators judge what other content creators are doing in the hobby, and you know that there's no moral ground. Like, being a scammer is one thing, but talking about like Crown Zenith, there's some stolen Crown Zenith videos that are going viral right now. If you stole Crown Zenith, that's one thing. But if you're just commenting and doing a reaction video to like someone opening up Crown Zenith, that's a set that everybody wants to see right now. So yeah, you bet your bottom dollar butt that people are going to want to see the product that's in Crown Zenith. Anyways, getting off topic here. Back to treating the buyers, the sellers with respect. It's a two-way street, right? So maybe the sellers of today need a little bit of background that, hey, I'm a new collector, I don't know the market that well. But even when you know the market and you're like, this just sold for half of what you have it listed for, like, you know, there's a nicer way of saying that. Hey, I looked at the sold listings and I saw that some of the sold listings had this selling for $90, $100. I deem $50, you know, a fair offer, because those listings, that stuff was in mint condition and it was sealed. And then the seller, you know, if they don't want to make a sale with you, fine, whatever. But you have to make your claim, right? You can't just hit somebody's, you know, and so I'm guilty of this too. So this is slightly hypocritical. I think we all do it at some point. You know, I'm not an angel. I am in no way an angel. I can be straight up and ignorant and rude myself sometimes. You know, getting in the hobby, I would be like, I'll give you $5 for this card. I'll give you $10 for this card. That can definitely ruffle some feathers when you're doing stuff like that. I'm telling you guys, for the new collectors out there, you don't want to ruffle anybody's feathers, because you never know who you're talking to. You especially don't want to do it with a more well-known seller. Even though I think for the most part, the really big, well-known Pokemon card sellers, they're willing to take a little bit of abuse just to get more sales. They are selling a lot of product. They've made a salary off of doing this. So they understand that it's not a pride thing. But then there's the occasional seller that's just like, I don't need to take abuse from buyers. Like, I sell to who I want to sell to. You know, it's kind of like a high horse, high and mighty approach to being a seller. And that's the kind of thing that just really bothers me. Like, I have stuff listed on my Mercari store for well over what the market prices are. And that's because, one, I'm preparing for the market to go up in value. And two, That's what it's worth to me to go to the post office, to spend time making a listing and then packaging stuff up. I already have a full-time job. I'm making money every week from that. I have investments, I have other assets, I have stuff that I'm doing. It's not worth it for me to make 10-20% on most of the stuff I'm selling. I want to make 30 or 40% margin on most of the stuff I'm selling. That's my reasoning. But I'm always polite, I'm always kind to people, and you don't need to buy from me. I even encourage people to do your due diligence, and if you find a better deal, feel free to grab that stuff. One thing with me though is I'm very honest. I'm always going to give extra cards. I'm always going to give extra repacks to whoever my buyers are. And that's kind of what differentiates me. I think sellers may be catching on to that now, but pay it forward. Give a little bit extra to the next guy, because you never know how that could impact someone's day. Someone could be having a really, really tough day, and boom, you open up a theme deck package from me, and boom, you get 2 repacks. And they're not worth much money. They're sure as heck not worth anything to me. I'm looking for certain cards. But to that person, those 2 packs, that 1 repack, that 1 extra card you throw in there, could make that person's day. And can make them see you as a really good person and a really good seller. I know it's a 40-minute video. I hate going over time like this, but I just wanted to get everything out there. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what your buyer-seller experiences have been like. Let me know if you agree with me in the comments section. Have you been mistreated before? Have sellers treated you wrongly before? Have you sold something before and had a buyer be super rude to you? Let me know, because I know that there's 2 sides to this, but I don't think anybody's really talking about this right now. And I think it's a really interesting topic. Anyways, peace out, guys. I hope the lighting looks good. I hope the room looks better. I definitely think the lighting is better. But we are on our way to 900 subscribers. I will be doing another pack opening. I don't have any Silver Tempest here, so I may have to open some Brilliant Stars. I may even open a Silver Tempest booster box. I might go to the store today when I go into work to see if there's any Silver Tempest packs that I can buy for the next milestone. But I know you guys. I know you support the channel. I know you support me. I don't have to open any product for you guys to stay here and keep coming back. I would honestly rather do a giveaway than just open up product on here. And maybe that's something we can do with all these packs that I already opened up that have the reverse foils. I keep all the hollow foils, all the V cards, the hollow foils, but all these have the reverse hollow foils in them still. Maybe we can do like a giveaway for all these repack cards from the cards I pulled. Maybe we can do a big giveaway to 1 lucky winner and just give them all the repack packs, basically bulk. But maybe it'll help someone complete a set. I'm not really interested in completing master sets from modern cards. It just seems like way too much work. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments section regarding your experiences as a buyer and collector. Again, to reiterate this, I think in the modern hobby, it's much harder to be a rude, mean seller because it's straightforward. There's tons of stuff on the market. It's priced in at a certain price already, and there's plenty of product out there, and there's not a lot of differentiation or anything that can make you unique as a seller. But the vintage market, it's very different. There's not a lot of product out there. The prices are much higher. The margins are much more difficult because you're selling a used product, but it's also older. So really, it's the sealed product in vintage that's kind of undeniably a higher value. That's hard to get deals on it. But my kind of niche is the open vintage product, open theme decks, open booster boxes that are empty, displays that are empty. Literally, my niche is like paper with Pokemon advertising and like logos on it. That's like one of my kind of niches. And like, in my opinion, that's a great way to invest right now because that market is going down and it's kind of hard to pinpoint the cost of opened up products. For example, there was a mom selling a bunch of stuff for her sons, which I really think her 16-year-old sons need to take some initiative and sell their own stuff online instead of being like, hey mom, will you sell this stuff for me? I want to buy a car. But anyways, I wished her very well, and I offered her $20 a piece on 5 theme decks, and we finally worked out the deal today. 3 of them Three of them do not, well, no, five of them, all five of them do not have the holo card. But $20 a theme deck? $20 a theme deck. Most of these are going into my personal collection. I don't have any intention to sell them. So this isn't even like, I'm gonna make so much money on this. This is more like a perfect example of like someone coming in as a new seller and me being a long-time buyer and seller to say respectfully, hey, I understand the market. I know where this stuff is going value-wise, and I know you're probably expecting more. I even said, I urge you to just go ahead and list this stuff and see what you can get for your kids. But I am willing to pay a price right now, today, of $20 a theme deck. Shipping is $7 a theme deck or $5. I pay the shipping on all of that stuff. I think I'm pretty good as a buyer in terms of being respectful and giving an offer. Guys! All right, my dogs are barking like crazy. They're being little dip snits. I can't curse, so I'm trying to make up words now. But anyways, I'm gonna have to buy a holographic card for each one of those theme decks, and I'm already looking at the holographic options. The theme deck holographic cards that I need for these particular theme decks, which I'm gonna show you guys in a video in the coming weeks. I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna take a break from YouTube and collecting and working on my car. I'm just gonna take a break for the next week. I'm gonna spend time with my family. I may put up some videos, but we'll see. But anyways, I have to put like at least $10 to $20 into each deck to get those holographic cards, and they might not be in the best condition. So I'm looking at like near mint holographic cards to put in the theme deck to make them complete. And that puts me at like $50, $55 a theme deck. And so now I'm like, fuck, I'm not supposed to curse. Frick, my margins have been depleted a lot. So now instead of selling the theme deck for $100 and if I did want to sell it, making an easy dime, now I have to sell it for like 130, 140, 150 just so I can make my margin after the fees and the shipping costs. So there's a lot that goes into it, but my example there was to be respectful as a buyer, to say, hey, I know that everyone has a life situation, instead of being like, you're not gonna get more than $20 a theme deck on the market, and I'm not gonna pay for shipping. As a seller that always pays for shipping, I pay for shipping on everything that I sell. I think it's pretty important that people should be paying for shipping as sellers. I know a lot of people are gonna disagree with this, but I really think someone who's being impulsive, who's buying collectible stuff that's not truly an investment, to be frank and be honest, it's not really an investment. I do preach this as an investment on the channel, but like it's not truly an asset investment. There's anyways, it's very speculative. I do think it's an investment, but it's harder to define it as a concrete investment. People don't take Pokemon cards that seriously. Let's be honest here. They don't take Pokemon cards that seriously. We do. Other people don't. We're building our own market, so to speak. We're building our own assets, our own investment, and we're determining the value of all this stuff. But, there's a right way to go about everything. And you don't want to be, and I'm going off on tangents. Just, sellers should start paying for shipping because you're already being impulsive, buying Pokemon cards and looking at these card prices, and you're already going to get hit with taxes and then have to pay shipping on top of that. I think is kind of ridiculous. I don't know why I do this, but I absorb all the shipping costs, and it's still hard to get those sales because people look at my prices and my prices are a little bit higher, and then in the description I have to say, but I pay for the shipping, which sometimes can be $8 to $10 on a $60 card or $60 box or $80 box. After fees, it's $65 or it's $70. After shipping, it's now $60. And I bought it for $40. So I'm making $20 to package something up, list it, and ship it to you. Is that worth my time? Not really. But anyways, I'm done with that point. Peace out, guys. I hope you liked the video. Let me know in the comments what you think about like being a buyer in this environment, being a seller in this environment, how you've been treated, what your experiences have been like. Have they been overall bad? Have they been overall good? Have some of you thought about leaving the hobby because you've been so frustrated with how you've been treated? Anyways, peace out. I've got another video probably coming today. I'm going to try and pump out some stuff. I've got some ideas flowing, but that's it for this video. How to deal with, engage with TCG buyers and sellers. Peace out, guys. And thank you, everybody, for everything.